to have a special session. Now, given the fact that this power that they have comes from the Constitution of the United States, is that guided by procedures that would govern Florida law? Or could they call a special session?
Georgia law.
Georgia law. Oh, did I say Florida?
We're going back 20 years.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So I mean, we've not had that precise issue confronted as a holding, but in the McPherson case, the Supreme Court specifically said the legislature has plenary power, and even the state constitution cannot restrict that power. So if there's some provision in the state constitution that says you can't call a special session in order to exercise powers you have from the federal constitution, I think the federal constitution trumps that, and I think the Supreme Court's decision in McPherson supports that conclusion.
I agree that it trumps it, Professor. All right. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
Senator Heath, now you can ask your question.
Thank you, Professor. I'll just give you a little preface here. I'm just a cowboy from West Georgia, so this has been interesting, but I think the mayor just touched on the question that I was going to ask of you. So our Constitution, I believe, states that there's two ways to have a special session. One is the governor calls a special session for a specific list of or a specific purpose, or the legislature by 2/3 vote of the two bodies can call itself into session. Now, this appears to be a partisan issue. We certainly don't have a supermajority in either party here in Georgia. So am I hearing you correct that less than a supermajority of the legislature could convene and appoint electors based on their findings of fact that the election was flawed and unacceptable?
I believe so, and I think look, the federal Constitution is going to prevail over limitations on your legislative power. Those provisions of the state Constitution deal with the state legislature acting in its state legislative capacity. But in deciding on the manner of choosing electors, it is not acting as a state body. It is acting as the federally appointed legislature with direct authority from the federal Constitution, which of course preempts the state limitations on it. And that's what the Supreme Court held in the McPherson case. That's what Section 2 of Title 3 provides in the federal statute. Whenever any state has held an election for purpose of choosing electors and has failed to make a choice on the day prescribed by law, and I would say in accordance with the law that had been set out, the electors may be appointed on a subsequent day in such manner as the legislature of state may direct. That's Title 3, Section 2 of the U.S. Code. I think that also prevails over any other limitations that might exist in Georgia law about when the legislature can call itself into session. It has a federal statutory authority to deal with the issue when the state's election has not been validly conducted.
Thank you.
So, someone else have a Senator Rett.
Doc, here's Senator Rett. Just one quick question.
Wait a minute. Hey, let me get you cut on.
Two.
Yeah. All right. Now you can go ahead.
Senator Rett, Doc, just one quick question. If the courts rule that there hasn't been a significant amount of evidence found to move forward with this, wouldn't this be in direct conflict with the judiciary?
I'm sorry, if the courts rule that there hasn't been evidence of the fraud or hasn't been evidence of violations of the state statutes.
Right, not enough substantial evidence, then how could the legislative body move forward?
Well, so I think it's important to disaggregate two kinds of things. We're talking about evidence of fraud that was substantial enough to have affected the results of the election, or are we talking about evidence that the state statutes themselves were not complied with? And I don't think you have to have both. I think either one is sufficient for the legislature to resume its authority under Article 2 of the federal Constitution to make sure you have electors chosen in accord with the manner set out by the legislature.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.